Okay, started. So let's start with a short introduction. Today, our very special guest is Ernestine Chan, originally from Hong Kong, a Canadian citizen with a Canadian citizenship, who recently has become the first Canadian woman and the first Hong Kongese woman to visit every country in the world. Ernestine, congratulations on this beautiful achievement. How was Libya? That was your last country, right?
Yes, thank you, Kasia. That's a very nice. Yeah, it's a good feeling, and it's really unbelievable. This journey, I really never thought about this achievable, and to be
We're very
the
happy
minority
that.
of the
Mhm.
women. Sorry,
I know.
airport announcement. I'm at the Madrid airport.
So you're not
Should
done
we
with
pause?
traveling, I guess.
No, I'm actually flying to Western Sahara now. Just finished, my first place to go after Libya was the Canary Islands. So I did some island hopping, hiking, and a cruise, and now I'm flying to Western Sahara. But back to that, I'm honored to be, amongst the small minority of women, right? 15% of women
Mhm.
have finished traveling the world, and I hope to see this number increase.
That's amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
so can you tell us, please? Let's start. What inspired you to visit every country in the world? Like, when was the moment when you realized that this achievement was actually within your reach and this was doable and you were going to go for it?
Well, unlike many other travelers in this group who dreamt of traveling the world or started traveling at a young age, I am
Mhm.
a late bloomer to this. Other than those annual holidays, which my family took during Christmas and summers, to neighboring Southeast Asian countries, because I grew up in Hong Kong and I came to Canada and when I was 12, I didn't take my first independent trip, until I reached late, like age 37 in 2008. And that was a spontaneous ski trip to Chile.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm an avid skier. I just wanted to like ski in June. It's a novelty, right? So that was
Yeah.
sort of my inspiration. 10 years after that, I kept traveling a little bit more, a little bit further, but only to places that interest me. I didn't even know how many countries there are in the world until I reached number 100. And then I think about when I reached 140 or 150, 10 years after my first trip, then I realized maybe it's doable, but let's me first finish Africa because it's so difficult and so challenging with all the visas. And towards sort of the last couple of years, as I'm finishing Africa, and then I think, well, I have a big gap in South Pacific. Let's see if I could do it. At one time,
Mhm.
it's like, wow, the cost and the logistics of flying to all the Pacific Islands was a lot, and I wasn't sure if I would or I want to travel. But then I met so many other travelers in the community who inspired me, and then I thought, okay, let's take one step at a time, and there it is.
Yeah. Can you tell me, you have a unique background. You're originally from Hong Kong, then moving to Canada. How do you think this multicultural upbringing influenced your perspective on travel?
Well, it certainly made me very aware of the cultural differences, and I'm very appreciative the opportunity that my family immigrated to Canada. A democratic society, women rights, and certainly Canada embraces multiculturalism and accepting of diverse religion background and political views. So when I travel, I try to respect and observe the different cultural differences, and I tend to want to interact with locals. So, for example, I would take the local bus or a metro, give me the
Yeah,
opportunity to talk to locals. Yeah, I love that.
that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Um, can you please share with us a couple of your not to forget moments? You must have had a lot of them traveling to every country in the world, but we would like to know just a few very special ones that you
Sure,
really are going to remember forever.
sure. Yeah, my number one would be just hiking the two tallest mountains in Africa within a span of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So last September, I climbed Mount Kenya and Mount Kilimanjaro with my best friend Mark from Frankfurt, and we did that in a span of 2 weeks. It's really the hardest that I've pushed myself mentally and physically. I mean, in the throughout the summer, I live in Whistler, a ski town in Canada, and so I hike every day and I cycle every day. But climbing two mountains that are over 5,000 meters is really a feat, and I will be forever proud of that. I've also been to the lowest point in Africa, and that's in Lake
Mm-hmm.
Passau in Djibouti. Yeah, so
Oh
that's my
yeah,
number
so
one. Oh,
I
sorry,
love that.
that's my number one um, memory. And my number two also involves being in the nature. I love both the polar expeditions I've been to in the Antarctic and the Arctic because I'm a mountain girl. I love mountains. I love snow. I love icebergs. And I love hiking, especially hiking in snow. It's very special. It's very unique. And then just the wildlife right around you, like being surrounded by penguin colonies and the little babies running around chasing their
Yeah.
parents for food is just
Oh,
like,
that's
wow,
amazing.
nothing like that. And then, like, similarly in the Arctic, I thought nothing could beat the Antarctica, right? But, and then, oh, wow, my God, 24-hour nonstop sunlight. You're like, I'm looking at the outside, looking at the glacier after glacier after glacier and hiking it's just wow. Yeah, I would like to go back again.
That's
And then my number
incredible. I hope
three,
you will have a chance to go back and do more of polar expeditions soon.
yeah, maybe I should be a guide for there. But yeah, my number three is
The
a little bit of
options are endless,
contrast.
right?
Yeah, and my number three is a little bit of a contrast. It's my first camel ride in the desert. It's in the Moroccan Sahara Desert. Um, so I was just blown away by in the riding in the sunset, you see the shadow of the curvy um, sand dunes, and then seeing the long, elongated shadow of the camel legs. It was just wow. It was like wow. And then the whole experience of camping in Berber tents, um, having the dance and the food and the music around the bonfire. And then
That's
later
really
on, like walking in pitch dark and stargazing because I love being away from all the civilization. I'm not really a city girl. I love being in
you're
nature. So I think,
definitely a
yeah,
nature person, an outdoorsy person,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's
So these are
great.
my top three experiences.
Mm.
Yeah,
So we're talking about the most beautiful moments, but then, of course, traveling comes with challenges as well, especially
right.
if your goal is so ambitious to travel to every country. So, can you please tell us what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced on this journey? And yeah, how did you overcome it? Because you did, since you've
Yeah,
achieved your goal. So, can you please
yeah.
share this with us as well?
I think my challenges would be similar to what other travelers face. So we've all had our shares of flight interruptions, cancellations, and being stranded. And what do you do, right? So then, I think the most stressful one was my 3 month South Pacific trip last year. Um, there were two cruises which were easy, fine, nothing can go wrong. But then the island hopping 6 weeks, and I went with Louisa the our famous mama, the travel mama who finished her 193 in November, right? I love traveling with her. I've been traveling with her to adventurous countries for a while. And so we were stuck because of the typhoon that hit Guam. So we were stuck in Marshall Islands, and then we got stuck furthermore because there's only
Mm,
the UA flight route that goes to those islands, and then Air Fiji in another hub. But then, so what I learned from Louisa, that she inspires me a lot, is to stay calm, look for alternative plans B, plan
yeah.
C. Okay, yeah, we lose money because those are non-refundable flights, but in the grand scheme of things, we fly all the way from Canada, US, right? If we were to come back again, that costs more than just losing one or two flights. So, yeah, so then I learned, okay, look for the backup plans and just kind of suck it up
Mm,
and have to pay for the extra flights. So in the end, we were delayed by three or four islands and we missed one, but we extended and we were able to complete all of the all in one go. But then my
Yeah.
advice for future travelers is don't be so ambitious. Don't try to do all the islands in 3 months. Just plan 2 or 3 ahead of time. Yeah.
That's
And then
great.
another common challenge that we all face are visas, especially to these African countries. So I usually travel for like 2 or 3 months nonstop, right? So then that's the challenge of lining up all the visas and querying to Ottawa and waiting for it to come back. So the most memorable one, I guess, my last country is Libya. Last year, Libya started to offer visa on arrival, but a few
Yeah.
months later they canceled it. So by the time that
Mhm.
my trip in December, I have to apply for the visa. I already phoned in August to ask Ottawa Embassy how long it would take. They said 5 days. Okay. So then by November, when time rolls around, before I sent in my passport, I
Mm.
phone again just to check. And oh my God, to my horror and shock, they said, we ran out of visa stickers. Like, what? What do you mean?
No
We ran out of
way.
visa stickers? Can't you not print them? And then they said, oh, well, we've been waiting a few months from Tripoli and it hasn't come yet and they don't know when. So just try from Washington. Sorry, announcement in the back. So then my guide had to resubmit my application to the from the Washington embassy, and that took a while, and they never give you a time, right? And waiting, and then time was running out for my international flight. I was really stressing out because I don't want to just send my passport to Washington and not knowing if they
Yeah.
will and when they will issue my visa and my passport. I have no passport, right? So then, luckily, um, a good Samaritan from the travel group. She lives in DC and she
Yeah.
offered, she was so kind. Her name is Sony. I want to shout out to her. She delivered my passport to the embassy and they did the same day processing for me.
So it
But
happened.
I also learned not to give up. I phoned both embassies 110 times. I phoned Washington 65 times and I
That's
phoned Ottawa
crazy.
40 times in a span of uh, 2 weeks. So
So
I was like, we
knocking
got, we
to
got.
all the doors and all the windows,
Yeah.
like.
So the lesson is just don't give up. Just keep like be persistent
Mhm.
and push. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm so happy that you managed, especially with the last country, right? Yeah. Can you please tell me, reflecting on your travel experiences, how do you feel all this traveling, all your journeys have contributed to your personal growth? Because this month, we at Nomad Mania are talking about how traveling to every country in the world can benefit your life. And can you please share us what's your opinion on that? Like how all this extensive traveling has contributed to your understanding of the world and your personal growth.
Well, I've learned to become a more effective and light packer. I mean, the first time the airlines lost my checked luggage, it was a 3 month trip to Central South America and Antarctica. So
I
I
think
was
this
really
is with
panicking.
everyone, like how everyone
Yeah.
starts, like, and you just go lighter and
Yeah.
lighter.
So now I can travel for 3 months in a 40-liter backpack from hot to cold countries. I learned to take light clothing, roll my clothes, and ladies, you don't need to bring all your cosmetics and everything in large bottles. Like almost all countries, you can buy lotion and face cream.
Mhm.
And I switched from liquid shampoo and conditioner to soap bar, and that really saved a lot of space and they last a long time. And I've also learned to be more a better researcher, trip planner
Mhm.
throughout this, and just gained a lot of travel skills. Um, and there's actually a lot of things that I learned. I learned to be braver because before I was oh so timid. When you start, oh you only go to like Europe, and then you take one step to Africa, and then you like just braver. I mean, even I remember, okay, when I met Louisa on
Mhm.
our first trip, she wore the boa, the snake, around her neck, and I was screaming and crying, like I was really scared. And I saw, oh, she wore it. Okay, then I put it on her neck, And then next she sat on the crocodile, and I thought, oh my God, okay, I'm just gonna like maybe lightly sit on it. And then last year, or I can't remember, 2 years ago, we went skydiving.
Yeah,
And I was actually, oh, I'm scared of height. I would never go skydiving by alone. But because Lucy invited us to go
yeah.
skydiving, and Louisa was the first one to put up her hand. I'm doing it. And at that time, I think she was 76 or 77, and she needed a doctor's approval. The doctor wouldn't approve, right? So she went every day to beg for her doctor, and finally they gave it to her. So I thought, oh no, if she can do it, okay, I'll just tag along and do it. So she inspired me to skydive, and that was really amazing. Yeah. To talk
Mhm.
about, like, I also learned from mistakes, right? I mean, in the past, there's like group dynamic situations that are not so, shall I say, pleasant. Then you learn that, oh, there's certain type of trips that are suitable for certain type of friends you go with, right? So,
Yeah.
for example, to these extreme countries, I go with these extreme travelers. To hiking, skiing trips, I go with other friends. Road trips,
Mhm.
other friends, and cruises, I go with my dance partner. Yeah. So there's a lot to learn, and I feel that I've grown a lot personally.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Well, how has all this extensive travel influenced how you see the world? Like,
So I've always been a student of history, and very
Mhm.
interested in geopolitical events that shape the world. And I feel like what's happening today, the current events, is pretty much sort of carry over from the past. How
Yeah,
the sort of the imperial powers like drawn the
yeah,
borders around these countries, and it's, to me, it's, I feel sad to see the cycle permeates, like the cycle of corruption in all
mhm,
countries, wars and genocide. Um, I don't know if humans can learn. It's a bit dark. But then on
mhm,
the bright side, when I travel to many countries that have less than we do, the people are very giving and have very warm and open hearts. So, for example, my latest, like traveling around South Pacific islands, I've been offered many rides and they offer us food. So I just felt like, wow, humans are great, but just the political leaders or religious
yeah,
leaders are
yeah,
not so great.
yeah. Can you tell us, since you finished, you're done with your 193 UN countries, what is next for you? As I said, you're at the airport, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're not done with traveling. And yeah, do you have like travel goals or projects in mind? You just finished the cruise, right?
Yeah.
On Canary
Yes.
Islands. Now you're heading
Yes.
to West Sahara.
Yes.
Tell us more about what's next.
I'm going to go back to my favorite countries and explore new regions, and probably
Mhm.
do it in a slower pace, like road trips and adding activities like hiking, skiing, and cycling.
So more
And
outdoors.
yeah, more outdoors oriented. I'm not really a city girl.
Mhm.
and and I would also like to stay in like a region longer so I can improve
Mhm.
my French and Spanish to become more fluent. And maybe a grander goal is to volunteer in some countries.
Oh,
And
that's
really, my
amazing.
passion is to help all girls get education. Yeah, I think that's my
That's
passion. Yeah.
beautiful. Can you tell us, for those who actually dream of visiting every country, but think that, well, it's not in their reach. So, can you give any, like, what advice would you give, especially regarding like preparation and dealing with unexpected along the way? If someone
Mm.
thinks, oh, I want to do all the countries, but doesn't know, I mean, where to start, you have to obviously go and travel to start. But how do you plan it logistically, and how to prepare for those unexpected also moments along the way?
Right.
What
Well,
do you think is
nowadays with
important? Mm-hmm.
I think nowadays with the internet and social media, it's really, and these travel apps has really helped. is a game changer. And groups like, Nomad Mania and EPS on Facebook, people,
Yeah.
travelers helping travelers with information. That's really, really, really useful. Um, and in terms of the unexpected, I would say expect it to happen all the time, especially when you're traveling longer, or if the trip gets longer, or flights or whatever, or something gets canceled. Flat tires in Africa happens every trip in Africa. Um, and just be flexible and be adaptive, make a plan B rather than getting mad or frustrated. Just stay
Mm,
calm, stay cool, and um, take it as reframe it as, oh, it's an adventure, it's a learning opportunity, rather than getting
mm.
all flustered. Yeah, yeah.
Are you more
And I
of a
think
planner when you travel, or like more go with the flow, or has it changed
I
during
think
all those years?
I'm more of a planner, because especially for these like difficult countries, you need really to have an itinerary, have a guide,
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
as a female traveler, I don't want to arrive at the airport at pitch dark and then, oh, we could plan and be mobbed by
yeah, of
taxi driver,
course.
such safety issues. So I like to have a plan.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand. As a
yeah,
female solo traveler, I do understand that too. So
yes, yeah,
we have to be definitely more prepared for more unexpected things than guys, hey? Yeah, of course. Okay. Well, I'm not going to keep you for longer because I know your flight is soon. So I want to also give you some space to have a coffee or whatever you're having, or have a drink or whatever you're having at the airport. Because, we know there's no rules at the airport, right? um, I just wanted to thank you very much again for making this time and talking to me, talking to our members. For what when you told me you were about to finish, I couldn't wait to talk to you. So thank you
thank
very
you,
much, and I'm
thank
wishing
you, Lisa.
you the best trip and many, many, many more beautiful moments and beautiful travels with packed with outdoor activities as you like it the most. So thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Kesha. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and I hope to meet the rest of the family when I join your June Island trip.
Oh, so you're coming
Yeah,
with us. Oh my
yeah.
God, I didn't know. Perfect. Amazing. Okay.
All right.
Great.
All right.
Great,
Cheers.
great, great. Thank you very much again, and I'll see you soon then. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.